Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, my friends. We have a surprise patch for Mortal Kombat 1, and this one has, I would say, fairly significant balance changes. Not a lot of balance changes, but the ones that are there, well, I guess we'll get into it. So this patch was in no way, shape, or form announced at all. If you want the proper patch notes, I'll link them for you in the video description. Want to check them out? But I guess let's start with what some of these changes are. So a character that's certainly been a thorn in many people's sides for quite some time is one Johnny Cage, and Johnny got some nerfs. So the really big one out of the gate here is Johnny down 1. So it is now 7 frames from 6. Johnny was one of the very, very few characters in the game that had a 6-frame move. And having a 6-framer on something as foundational as a down 1 was a very big deal. He could punish things a lot of characters could not. And punish them with a down 1 means punish them, lots of advantage frames, could jail into stuff. It was an incredibly powerful tool. And now it's 7 frames, so it's basically like everyone else's. So to lose that is a very big deal, to say the least. It's kind of thing you would think like they would announce ahead of time, not just stealth patch, nerf one of the best moves in the game, right? Like I could talk a lot about this because 6-framers are a very big deal. They're very rare, but yeah, so it's gone. It's just a normal down 1 like everyone else. Also 1-1. So 1-1 used to be +3 on block. It is now +1 on block. So the intended function of, advantage frames is still there, but obviously +3 is a much better than, much better number than +1, right? So the edge has certainly been taken off this a fair bit. So the pressure will still exist after 1-1 on block, but it just will not be as good. And once again here, down 1 becoming normal, not the superpowered Johnny unique down 1 that it's always been since launch. That's kind of a big nerf. So, Johnny players, beware, I guess. We also have a duo of nerfs for Kenshi and Raiden. And this both specifically has to do with chip damage. So the Ancestor, aka the Puppet, now does not do as much chip damage as they did before. Kenshi kind of really good at putting you in the blender, right? So that means while the blender still exists, like no part of that got changed necessarily. When you're blocking, it won't necessarily do as much damage. Much the same here for Raiden. So Electromagnetic Storm. This is both the regular and EX enhanced versions. Now does less chip. Now obviously, as you can see here, still does a good chip. It still does good chip. It's just not as strong as it was before. This move, like, you could technically, block a hit, let go block, reblock, and like flawless in between, and then negate chip for the rest of the string, which is very real world doable, but also still difficult, right? So now, kind of, I don't want to say the fangs are out of the snake or nothing here, but for Kenshi and Raiden, chip damage, just a little bit more in line with what a normal character could do, I guess. Now, Peacemaker, this is a gigantic nerf, although it is framed in the context of a bug fix, FYI. So this has to do with the gunshot force multiplier. So as it reads in the patch notes, fixed force multiplier not enabling auto block, leading into unintended linked combos. So if you're unaware, you can do like whatever string into gunshot, and then while they're in, the hit stun of gunshot, you can call, say, ambush assists. And then just kind of keep the combo going, right? I have an example exactly of that in the original patch video from, a few days back. And now, I guess not intended. So these extended link combos, not so much. And there's also some stuff with like eagerly cooldowns. You can check the patch notes for that in the video description. But yeah, so Peacemaker got very easy, very big damage. Like, very low effort, to be frank. Like, it is dirt easy, right? So now, not so much. It's kind of like everybody else. I did think it was wildly strong myself when I first noticed it. And I guess they didn't want it to be that way. You know, he still got his crazy strength, still got the crazy sweep, all that kind of stuff. Still got the tick throw, got all the cool, fun little bits from all that kind of stuff. But it is not as overwhelming, I guess. And once again, the edge taken off. And we got more nerfs too. We got some Kameo Nerfs. How about Kung Lao? Low hat, we're at it again. So regular low hat is not changed. So regular low hat still has the fast-ish recharge time that was nerfed once before. But now if you do held hat specifically, it does take a split second longer to recharge. And the actual recharge is not the fast recharge anymore. As you can see here, it's not necessarily slow by this game's standards, but it is more normal compared to the very fast recharge of the regular hat. So the utility is all still there. Like, as a gimmick, it's as strong as it's ever been. Because, you know, it's still delayable, it's still a low, it's still all those things. But now with the recharge being curtailed again, it is more in the realm of mere mortals, you know? Like, when Cyrax originally got nerfed, everyone just moved on to Kung Lao. Because of course you would. Because it was crazy, right? And now... now it's still very, very good. It's still above average in my opinion. But it is no longer as spammable and as abusable. So keep that in mind. I'm sure many people will merely jump cameos, I guess, but that is nerfed. And that's not the only nerf. Striker and Striker grenades. Recharge rate, definitely not what it used to be. Let's put it that way. So if you like spamming those grenades, and everyone does, it's an ambush, they hit mid, it makes unsafe moves safe, it makes safe moves plus on block. Like, it was a magical move. Let's call for what. And it still, once again, is the actual move itself. The grenade toss is not nerfed. Simply the recharge rate on low grenade toss is now, you know, in line perhaps with what it should have always been. So certainly a big nerf, because the fact that the grenades were kind of spammable was part of the appeal of Striker. And so just like Lao, things that are just an easy dumb sledgehammer, just like Cyrax of Days Yours, are getting nerfed. So I got to be a little bit more creative. Does this mean it's going to be the era of Kano? Because, you know, Kano still's got those ambush knives. And ambush knives, once the recharge starts, it's pretty quick for what it is. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Because Lord knows, you know, sticking to what you used to use after it got nerfed, no one's going to do that. That's not how we work, right? So, yeah, just a lot of nerfs. Once again, this was in no way advertised. This just launched. And considering how significant a lot of these changes, like, these are meta-shifting changes. Like, let's call it for what it is. Even just Lao and Striker by themselves, let alone Peacemaker and Johnny stuff, right? So just to have this dropped on us, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I would appreciate some warning or a combat cast or something. A tweet from the official account. But yeah, so this is some pretty heavy news just to get dropped on us out of nowhere. So, you know, I'm all for balance changes, right? A more balanced game is a more fun game in the end, in my opinion. But dropping these out of nowhere is certainly odd, to say the least. That said, that's the news. Once again, if you want to check the full changes, it's not that long, but the full change notes will be in the video description. And yeah, just kind of really weird, I guess. But that said, that's the news. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Mortal Kombat.